Hello, my friends. Welcome back. This is the magical journey of Sri Lanka, and this is episode 4. We left off last time with the hearth, the lovers, and being nourished by the grit of life. And this part of the adventure, this part of the journey it's about luxury and the awakening of regality. Yes, let's dive in. Before I go there, it was so cool. A couple of days ago, I asked Rory, what has Sri Lanka returned to you or gifted you that was lost? And he thought for a moment and he said, my regalness. And this part of the adventure right now that I'm about to share with you was the beginning of this awakening for both Rory and I, the awakening to our royalty, to our royal nature, to our regality. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share photos again because it's so fun to do. I realized I didn't know this was going to happen when I started this journey, but part of this journey is actually it's a very visceral gratitude practice for me in reflecting on the history in the past and feeling the overflowing gratitude to all of the treasures that have been gifted in all directions through each stage of the journey. Sometimes I know myself as a very future-oriented being, I can be so future-oriented that I forget how much has changed, how far I've come, how each step of the journey has provided such richness and such treasure. So when we left off last, we were at world's end, the end of the world. And from there, we actually didn't know where we were going to go next. And through a very beautiful chain of synchronicity, we ended up in a boutique hotel called Gala Villa, which to my knowledge still is in operation if you ever have a chance to visit it. It's on the top of a crystal mountain. This mountain is made of quartz. They have a giant quarry on the top, quartz quarry on the top of the mountain. Everywhere you look when you're walking along the roads or the pathways, it's just crystal, 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 crystal. Everywhere you look, crystals coming out of the ground, crystals, crystals. And as you're driving up this mountain, which is about a 45-minute, really rough road, really rough road. I actually had taken my flip-flops off in the tuk-tuk. And by the time we got up to Galavilla, my flip-flops, I'm spitting, my flip-flops were no longer in the tuk-tuk. I didn't even know it was at night, but there was so many bumps on the road that the flip-flops had actually flown out of the tuk-tuk and I didn't even know. So I arrived with no shoes. We arrived at 45 minutes up this mountain, and you're thinking as you're going up it, like, how could it, because like, how could a nice place, a beautiful place, because I'd seen some photos of it, exist way up here? Like, how would they even get the construction vehicles up here to build it? This is crazy. And so you go, you think you're going further into like the jungle of nothingness. And then you go down another little, the roads are narrowing, this little bitty dirt road. How could anything be down this dirt? How? And you go down, and then there's a driveway, which is even smaller than the dirt road. And then you come to the end of the driveway, and there's a majestic gate, a beautiful, majestic gate. And as that gate opens, you feast your eyes on this gorgeous structure. It truly is a fine boutique hotel that is directly connected and infused by culture. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's not, I love this style of boutique hotels because it basically nests itself in the richness of the culture and then amplifies that to create the luxury. So I'm going to start off first with a photo of actually, it's a little video of the interior of this hotel. And I want to share with you this story of what transfigured within my psyche and within my body, and for Rory too, as we came into this degree of opulence and of luxury. Because mind you, up until this point in my life, so this is 2015, I had then had my clinical practice for about 13 years. I was a hardworking entrepreneur, and I made, enough money for us to be able to do things, to travel, but not in this sort of, not in luxury. I didn't actually feel like that was an option for me to like spend so much more money for something if you could get it for less, but to spend so much more money for something just because of its luxuriousness or just because that's what I actually really, really wanted. I had not experienced that yet in life. I hadn't experienced the medicine of luxury yet in life. This event that I'm sharing with you right now is what catalyzed a complete change in my consciousness. And it catalyzed a unification with a desire that I didn't, it's not that I didn't know that I had a desire for luxury or nice things. I was raised when I was young. My dad used to say to me, "Daughter, you have champagne taste on a beer budget." And it was always this thing where like Tiffany wanted the nice things and there wasn't money for the nice things. And where did it come from that I wanted the nice things? It wasn't like I was really exposed to them when I was young, but it's something that's always been there with me. Like, what is the nicest, most possible thing that I can have here? Also, that I can create here. But because I didn't feel that I had access to it from a financial perspective, I actually endeavored and I put a good amount of energy and effort into continually talking myself out of what I actually wanted because I didn't feel that it was actually accessible to me. Can you relate? If you can, I'd love to hear in the comments. So this was the beginning of the rest of my life that led to this sitting right here, right now, in a quite a luxurious, beautiful space with a robe on because I've had the most wonderful and luxurious Ayurvedic massage in our outdoor treatment room with the outdoor bathtub. I mean, really, 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 this permissions to want what you want, this permissions to receive what you've been asking for. There is alchemy in this journey. What is your alchemy? All right, here we go. This is the part of the interior. I am going to play you just a little bit of this video. It's a pretty poor quality video and pretty blurry, but you can get a little sense of the opulence of this place. And keep in mind that at this time that Rory and I came, which is December 14th, 2015, I had not experienced entering into really beautiful places like this. And we ended up booking and having they called it the honeymoon suite. It was so adorably misspelled. The honeymoon suite. And it was a multi-room suite. I had never stayed in a suite in my life. All of the attention to detail with cultural artfulness. I felt instantly like a queen. And all I could do for the days that I was there was just walk around, float through the space, and let myself feel like a queen. I didn't know that that's what I was doing at the time, but as I reflect back, that's what I was doing. I was letting my nervous system be calibrated to something that had been desiring and longing for perhaps for my whole life, but I didn't know how to ultimately I didn't know how to receive it because I didn't know how to directly name it and claim it as a desire. So here we go. the attention to detail and refinement throughout this entire space, everything is art. Everything is art. Now we've returned to this place a couple of times since then, and they have a giant crystal Ganesh down in the lobby. So I continue along this sort of wobbly video path of entering into the honeymoon suite. I think I'm going to pause with this now, and let's go to the next photo. I just love this. This is going down the hallway to the honeymoon suite. Okay, here we go. This is a view from part of the terrace. Another view. There is something really profound that happens within the psyche when you're sitting on a mountaintop. What is that like for you when you are sitting atop a mountain? In your own experience, like if you take the position of sitting atop a misty mountaintop right now, how does it reconfigure your relationship to problems, to challenges, to desires? There is something medicinally powerful about taking yourself to physical locations where you can sit atop like this. And I've come to realize that this is part of the alchemy of the regality. This was me. This is me, was me, is me. This was also part of the delight and the joy of the regality, was that this particular dessert, it's not a dessert actually, but it tastes like a dessert. It's served most often on special occasions, holidays, and birthdays, and it's called kiribat. It's rice mixed with coconut milk, and in this chef's recipe, and he's such a delightful chef. You'll see a picture of him later. He's amazing. It's cardamom. I feel like there was maybe raisins, or they call them plums here, but little raisins in there, cardamom. And then this is the coconut sugar mixed with little pieces of coconut and then cashews. And it's so delicious. And I think that Rory and I ate it every morning, and it felt like we were breaking all sorts of rules, and we were acting as if every day was our birthday, every day was a special occasion. And it was. I believe that we were here for three days, if I remember correctly. Such a treasure, this. Oh, this is this very interesting creature. It almost looks like a hammerhead shark, but it's some kind of a worm. It took me back to my biology days. The thing here that is worth illuminating is how travel, especially to exotic places where the things that exist there. Hammerhead worm, I called it. Look how smooth that moves. So this going to exotic places and seeing things that you've never seen before, that is an enriching experience for the psyche and for the soul. And that is connected to the regality, to the embodiment of enrichment. I think we had gone out for the day here. Oh, yes. Okay, so let's see. This next part of the journey, which is a beautiful part about music and community and healing, this is where I'm going to pick up in tomorrow's episode. What I want to end here with is life gifts to us continually opportunity to desire more. And desiring more doesn't mean that we're not being grateful or content with what we have or selfish. That's another one. We came here to remember ourselves as creators, as co-creators. And the mechanism of wanting more, of desiring more, is such a pure expression of our God self in human form. And I think had I not gone to Sri Lanka, had we not been called there, had we not been called to Galavilla to the top of the Crystal Mountain, had we not rented the honeymoon suite, which by the way was actually it was a stretch for us at the time, but it was accessible because of the exchange rate, where renting a honeymoon suite at that particular time in our life in the United States, we didn't experience that as accessible, financially speaking. Letting yourself want what you want and taking the next action step to finding union with what you want is what allows the resources to flood in to help you find union with the next thing that you want, and the next thing that you want, and the next expansion into luxury. However it is that you experience luxury. Luxury is a medicine. What a joy and a pleasure to be with you. If you're enjoying this journey, do share it. Share it with others. Like, subscribe to the channel. Let's spread this. And consider joining me here in Sri Lanka for your deepening of experience and luxury, for your clarification of your desires at this point in your life. I'll see you tomorrow.